ever found yourself playing it safe rather than speaking up, making a change, or even taking a chance, only if you were going to regret it later? Have you ever sat in a meeting and thought, geez, if only I had the guts to say something? Let's face it, in all honesty, most of us may wish that at times we were a little braver as a leader, a little braver in our job, a little braver in our career, perhaps even a little braver in our lives. So what is bravery anyway? Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have opportunities to be brave every day, and every day we are brave, we build our brave muscle. Welcome to JTinTheRaw, show 218, where I choose a thing on business, and after 31 years in business, I have just a few thins to chew. And this week, we're going to focus on having courage and bravery in the workplace to speak up and share your thoughts, and how to build courage and bravery in the workplace so your team feel comfortable bringing this up and having conversations with you as a leader. You see, we just don't see opportunities because we try to avoid risk. We opt for the safer path, or the path of least resistance. The problem is that path rarely leads to somewhere where we want to go. We work in, we build, we even live in a culture of fear. A culture of fear that, it constantly bombards us with reasons to play it safe. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the reason I want to share this particular episode with you, or this topic with you, is this week in one of my roundtables. We've been running roundtables for independent club owners in the US and in Australia now ever since March. We've been meeting weekly or bi-weekly or fortnightly ever since March. And just this week, one of my Rex members, one of my roundtable members said, I want to make a proposal on how to make this better. Now, Roundtable has a culture of trust, a culture of openness, and a culture of being able to get better. It's, for me, I'm the facilitator of the Roundtable, but it is the members' Roundtable. So what they want is really important, and then my job is to deliver that. However, more often than not, in many organizations, as the leader, I will dictate to the people how we will run this. And for some business development, business coaching groups, it is actually the facilitator that says, this is how we do things. For me, with Roundtable, the members of Roundtable, it is their Roundtable. They tell me what they want, and then I go off and make sure I deliver it. Nevertheless, there still must be someone brave enough to speak up and say, this is how I would like to make the Roundtable better. So a shout out to Cindy this week. Cindy, congratulations on having the courage to stand up and say, here are the ways that I would like to make Roundtable better. Which got me thinking about the whole idea of courage in the workplace. Mira, good morning. Marissa, good morning. Great having you on board this morning over there in the United States of, it should be the United States of Flux, I think at the moment. The United States of Flux. Flux, that is, by the way. Okay, so many of us, because I went off and did some research around this, so I've got a couple of notes I want to share with you. Many of us work in a culture, or we develop a culture in the workplace around fear. We build this culture of fear either consciously or unconsciously. And it gives people that work for us reasons to play it safe, reasons to not speak up, which is really why we have to be vigilant about discerning between the fears that are serving us and those that are holding us back. Now there's a clear point. Some fears that we have as a department, a team, or a business. Jace Lawrence, good morning. I didn't see you there. How are you, mate? Sometimes those fears will hold us back, or those fears are serving us. And we want to overcome those fears to move us forward, to open doors to opportunities that we want. In fact, fear raises its ugly head when we might be thinking about entering a new market, launching a new product, launching a new service. You could lose some money, fear pops its head up. Fear might raise its ugly head when you want to personally put your hand up to lead a project, or a team member wants to put their hand up to lead a project. They're fearful of doing that. They're fearful, there is fear in your department for asking a boss to support further training because the boss could say no. Giving critical feedback to an employee. They could break down in tears. They could walk out. They could resign. They could say you're harassing them. So fear kicks in. We could ask someone to be your mentor. Put your hand up and ask for a business coach. Join round table. They may think this is presumptuous. They may show that you are weak, or this is incompetent, having this fear. It's okay to ask for help. We talked about that last week in show 217. If you missed 217, pop that in the comments and I'll send you the link. Each of our actions every single day as a leader or as a team member help us conquer fear in some way, whether that fear be large or small. And what is being brave all about? Well, it's taking an action despite the presence of fear. Let me say that again. What is bravery? What's being brave at work? It's taking action despite the presence of fear, despite perceived personal risk, despite uncertainty of the outcome, and despite feeling vulnerable in the process. That, Jasmine, yes, I can send you the link to 217 for sure. That, ladies and gentlemen, is bravery. Do you have bravery interwoven within the DNA of your business? Remember, what is brave? Brave is taking action despite the presence of fear, the fear around perceived risk, the fear around the uncertainty of outcome, the vulnerability that may come about. Now, interestingly enough, in a book, The Courage Quotient, the author, Robert Diswas-Dina, the Courage Quotient, he says this: bravery is a skill, and like all skills, it can be learned, strengthened, and mastered with repeated practice. Bravery is a skill, and like all skills, it can be learned, strengthened, and mastered with practice. It can also atrophy or shrink when not used, just like a muscle. Bravery is just like a muscle. You use it, it will get stronger. You don't use it, it will get weaker. The more often you can build into your business training that brave muscle with opportunities and challenges, the better equipped your team will be to respond courageously when the challenges arrive. So here are 5 ways that you can grow your courage muscle. Alicia, good morning. Grace! How the hell are you, Grace, over there in the United States of Flux? Hope you're doing well. Okay, 5 ways that you can help build courage. For you personally, it's important that you know your why. When you understand why you're doing things, it compels you to leave your own comfort zone. It compels you to want to challenge yourself. Because often to fulfill your why, you do have to be brave. You do have to have that courage. So it would be foolish for you not to know your why, live your why, and therefore get out of your comfort zone. Number 2. This is an interesting one because in the research that I found, people said that we need to rethink risk. We need to rethink risk. We are wired to overestimate the probability of things going wrong. In other words, it's interwoven in our brain that we're actually going to find the things that are going wrong for us before they actually go wrong. We underestimate our own abilities to handle risk. Other research has actually found that we're biased towards discounting the cost of inaction. So we're actually it's just easier not to do it. Anyone ever suffered that in the workplace? So we must stick with the things that are going to get us from point A to point B. Whatever that point A is, whatever that point B is, rethink the risk model. The third, befriend your inner critic. So I wonder if anyone in your workplace or even you thinks this: I'm not smart enough, I'll make a fool of myself, what happens if I mess up, what will everybody say? This is the little voice inside us. Be rest assured, I could be putting together an EDM, a marketing campaign that I'm going to put out. That little voice ticks over in my head a couple of times. That inner voice can be highly critical. It can be a darn pest at different times. But that's because we're fearful, and it's there to protect you. Remember, this is about building your own bravery, building bravery within your workplace to have your team stand up and tell you what they really think. To have them befriend their inner critic. Have them feel comfortable talking to you. Our need is simply to acknowledge that fear is only trying to keep us safe. When you do that, you can reclaim the power that it actually holds and make a very deliberate decision to take action despite the presence of fear. Of course, we can reframe failure. That's the fourth one. Who cares if we fail? Failure doesn't mean anything other than we tried something and it didn't produce the result that we wanted. Happens all the time when we're learning to walk. As babies, we try, we fail, we try, we fail, eventually we do. What I want us to start to think about, to have courage in our workplace, is I tried something, I didn't get that result. What can I learn? What should I try next? I actually had a conversation with one roundtable member recently where I said, how do you determine at the end of the day if it's a winning day or a losing day? She said, I have no losing days. A losing day is a learning day. She has reframed failure for her. It is not about losing. It is about learning. And number 5, don't trade personal power for people pleasing. This is a really important one. As social beings that we are as human beings, we love to be liked. We're wired to avoid doing anything or putting ourselves at risk of criticism or disapproval or social ostracization or personal rejection. So often we will just say what everybody else is saying so that we don't get ostracized. We shouldn't let, and if you can take one message out of this week's JTinTheRaw, I think this is the message for your workplace. We shouldn't let what other people think matter more than what we do. We shouldn't let what other people think matter more than what we do. too often what people think holds the balance in our lives. Oh, Sean Lestrange, thank you, sir. Haven't seen you for ages. Hope you're doing well. John Nasta, thanks, mate. Great having you on board over there in the UK. Sorry about your lockdown again happening over there, mate. Really feeling for all the people of the UK at the moment. Cindy, thank you for having the courage, having that bravery to stand up at our roundtable meeting to tell everybody what you thought we should do to make Roundtable better. I am grateful for that, and I know Roundtable is grateful for that. And that to me is a response as a leader. You want to encourage your team, whether it's a department, a sporting team, or an entire business, to have the courage and the bravery to speak up and tell you when they think we might need to do things differently, improve, enhance, change, whatever the case may be. We need that bravery. Our job as leaders is to develop that culture of bravery within our business by ensuring our team members reframe failure. They don't trade personal power for people pleasing. They each understand their own why. They rethink risk and they befriend their inner critic so that they have the courage to stand up and say what they think. Your challenge this week, and I've got one for you. Sometimes I wonder whether these actually work or not. So if they do work and you do take on these challenges, I always want to hear. So if you like this challenge, give me a love heart as I share it. If you were to do one brave thing this week, where do you need to start? If you were to do one brave thing this week, where do you need to start? Reframing failure? Not trading personal power for people pleasing? Knowing your why, being clearer on your why? Do you need to rethink risk? Do you need to befriend your inner critic? That's the one I'm working on. Befriending my inner critic. That is the one that I am working on. Your challenge this week, if you were to do one brave thing, what of those 5 do you need to improve? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to JTinTheRaw show 218, same time every single week, hopefully adding a little bit of value to your Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to train the brave muscle. You all have a brave muscle. It's time to start training it because, ladies and gentlemen, your success and happiness is riding on your bravery and the bravery and the courage that you build within the DNA of the culture of your business, your team, and your department. As a leader, lead with courage, lead with bravery, and your team will replicate your behavior. Hey, if you got any value out of today's show, I would love you to tag anybody in the comments below, or depending how you're watching this, there's a share button somewhere. Hit the share button. I'd love to get this message out around being brave in the workplace and standing up. No more important than talking courage and bravery at this time. So I really appreciate everybody's support, jumping on every single week to watch JTinTheRaw. I hope you have an awesome weekend in the UK. People, please stay safe as you're locked down. In the United States of flux, good luck at whatever happens for you over the next few days. Please also stay safe over there. And to all my friends around the rest of the world, Australia, New Zealand, and throughout anywhere else, hope you also have a great weekend. I'll catch ya on the flip side.